It's February 2023 and I thought I'd do a little thing on my YouTube channel about the allotment. So we've had this a couple of years now, got it just before lockdown, which was handy because it gave us somewhere to go to, because you had a reason to go to an allotment to tend your crops, so it was brilliant for that. So yeah, lots of stories to tell, particularly about the Polytunnel behind me and the trials and tribulations we've had about that. But yeah, because it's February, I've got a bit of digging to do in the allotment and some more stuff to do inside the Polytunnel, so I'll crack on and run through some of these things. So just to explain, I should say we've got two half plots. One is here, extending to the end of the Polytunnel, so it's these beds up to just beyond these hoops, and then just over here we've got another half plot just beyond this somebody's compost heap there, extending to where the shed is. So last year, obviously you have to rotate what you grow veg wise, because you don't want to take all the nutrients out of the soil. So we had potatoes in this bed last year. It's one of the larger beds, so that's just been dug over. Here we've got two lots of rhubarb, so I'm about to dig that over slightly and just put a surround around it. Strawberries under the hoops. This is a loganberry or a tayberry, I can't remember at the moment. Then we've got some red currant bushes that we inherited. We don't tend to eat red currant, so we've left them for the time being. I've heavily pruned them to get them going again, but chances are we might well take these out and put something else in. And we like black currant, so we might well replace these with black currants. These are two beds of summer fruiting raspberries, one there, one there. They were brand new, so we put those in ourselves. Then I've dug in a brand new bed of comfrey, so we use comfrey as a fertiliser for things like tomatoes. Really good. Then you've got this kind of ramshackle kind of building. We're very close to the water. That's not on our plot there, but so we're here, the water's there, so we're very close. Can't use hose pipes here, you have to ferry things across with watering cans, but we've got easy access to that. But even so, when there are drought conditions in the summer, I just built a lean-to here. So the idea is that this tin is going to catch the rain, then it's going to come all the way down to a drain pipe here and fill in water butts, and then I've got another section of pipe there that I put on the end here, which takes the water then into that water butt and to some smaller other buckets that we have there for collecting the water. You can see here's 1, 2, 3 bays using old pallets, and we had the idea that we were going to have 3 big compost heaps, so we can always rotate it and turn it over at regular intervals and have fantastic compost. But yeah, then I put the roof on, but what that then did is made all the compost inside here dry, which is not ideal for compost. So I've had to start again. So we've got 1, 2 compost bays and ideally need a third, but we're running out of room. So yeah, that's last year's compost that is ready to go on some of these other beds. Into the Polytunnel, which will be nice and cosy today. I'm not going to run through what's gone wrong with the Polytunnel today. I'll do that on a later date. So I made this staging, I've taken it down so I could treat it. So what I've got to do today is just dig over some of these beds, because within inside the Polytunnel it gets so hot in here, the ground dries up very quickly, so it's not ideal growing conditions now. So I need to put the staging up and then re-dig the soil. Got some bags of manure here to put in as well to top the nutrient level up in that. Water it all in, and then that'll be ready for planting. But it's really toasty in here. We've already had kind of a sleet shower this morning, so it's cold outside, but inside here it must be 10 or more degrees, maybe more than that, yeah, warmer than the outside temperature. Then this is the second half plot. So last year we planted some fruit trees, so we've got a cherry over there, a pear here, and then 2 apples. So the idea is just to have this as a kind of low maintenance grass area, because that's the trouble with in the summer months with rain and warmth, everything shoots away, and it's just hard enough just keeping on top of the grass mowing. Got a bed of raspberries going up here, then behind that another loganberry, another loganberry, and then black currant and gooseberry bushes leading onto an inherited old shed. and a little fire area. So February jobs on the allotment tend to involve digging to some degree. There's a fair amount of weeding to do as well. So what I've got here is I've got a couple of compost bins, I think, that I've cut down to size, and then the idea is I'm going to put them around the rhubarb crown here just to protect it, sort of semi-force it up and just stop anything nibbling, rabbits nibbling or badgers digging it up. So you can just see here, because it's so early in the year, the rhubarb's just starting to appear. So I'm just going to gently hand weed this, put that surround on it, and then just backfill it with a bit of compost. What I've done in the past is I've dumped a lot of the compost on top of the rhubarb wherever I've had it in the garden or here, and yeah, kind of stifled the growth. So you're not supposed to dump it on top of it directly, but more around the edge. So that's what I need to do now, weed it and then protect it. So that's done that. Protecting it, I've weeded it and just put some of our own compost that we made last year all the way around the plants. Here we go, crack on 2023. So as you can see, this is some of the soil that was in here from last year, and it is bone dry, so it's not going to be, hasn't got any structure in it for growing stuff for this year. Really dry, so we need to dig some organic material in that. So we've got our own compost produced on the plot, and we've got a couple of bags of manure here. So the only thing that's currently growing in here is 2 or 3 rows of carrots that I need to weed, which are baby carrots at the moment, and then I've planted some strawberries. So I've got 3 or 4 plants that were left over from last year that we grew in here, and they fruited really well. And what I did was I've layered them so they all went mad sort of late summer autumn and produced little sort of side shoots, which then I've cut off and potted, and they've been outside in the frost, and now I've planted them probably about 2 weeks ago in here. So I think I've got 10 new strawberry plants off runners, and they do say that you need to expose them to frosts for a short period because they're going to fruit that much better. So that's what I did, and since then I've now dug them in here. So I dug over this little short section, about 1.5 meters, so that's why it looks slightly different to what's behind it. That I still haven't dug over and put any manure in. This I have. So you can see there's a completely different structure here, lots of kind of holes, and yeah, that's going to hold the moisture in the summer a lot better than what is at the back. So we need to change that, and then I need to put all the staging up. Right, that's the staging up, so all of a sudden it looks quite big in here now. Unfortunately, I've had to cable tie the staging to the uprights. When I originally made this, because I made it out of bits I had lying around, plastic water pipe, and these metal uprights are old kind of poles I had lying around. What I did do is put the plastic pipes inside the metal pipes, concreted them in the ground, and then it got so hot in here and it was windy, the plastic pipes have warped, so I've ended up having to replace them with the proper hoops that I should have got originally. So it's probably saved us a bit of money, but we had the hassle. I've had to cut holes in the plastic in order to get the metal pipes through, so not ideal. But yeah, when I originally made this, all the staging was it was drilled through and screwed into all the uprights, so it was pretty solid. Because obviously we're growing stuff in here. The idea behind this is that if we were growing tomatoes or any other taller plants, this middle section you just lift up, it comes out, and obviously you've got a great big gap there, so you can grow taller plants up through the middle. This section here we tend to have pots, and this is where our kind of potting trays tend to be. But yeah, I thought that's quite a nice idea, just to create a gap in the middle for the taller plants to grow up if need be. This is what February tends to be like, a mixture of sun and blue sky one minute and hail the next. But inside here it's nice and cosy. Need to sort out all of this plastic stuff first. I think we had it up at the house, planted it as seed, transplanted the seedlings up here, and then forgot to take everything back. So we need to kind of get rid of all this junk that you acquire throughout the year in order to start from scratch again back at home. Then it'll free up the ground and then I can start digging it over. So there we have it, a bit tidier than it was before. So I've dug all that over, put some manure in it, dug all that over in the corner, put some manure in it, put the staging up. The only thing I didn't do in here was this little square here because I ran out of manure, and yeah, that's me done for the day. But yeah, the other thing that could be done in here before the spring is to clean all this green algae off the inside and the outside of the polytunnel. But yeah, it's looking good.